truck has been stopped greater than X number of hours. That could be an alert from a safety perspective as well as from a productivity perspective. And reporting analytics. We have lots of different ways that we basically slice and dice the data for you to help you understand a little bit more about your business operations. And lastly, I'll show you a little bit about PTO usage and excessive idle monitoring. PTO is, we use that as power takeoff switch. So we tap into multiple inputs, outputs from vehicles to show when the vehicle is being used as a tool versus for transportation. Specifically in the utility industry, we monitor boom activity, inverter switches, even the safety lights for the safety crew out in the field. We can monitor when those safety lights are on and off. Next slide. First of all, key performance indicators on the dashboard. It's a little hard to see the details here, but the idea is that the dispatcher has a full-page map view of the truck's current locations. And for your field operations folks, we have key performance indicators that you can be monitoring in real time. The red indicators in the grid are when certain thresholds are reached for those key performance indicators. We can call those out to you as a user when you're viewing your fleet and its status. Next slide. Real-time tracking with exception alerts. So this is really a summary of the current location of your vehicles, and so it's just a list of all the vehicles in your groups. And on the left-hand side are different color indicators tied to alerts. We use the green alerts pretty much as an indication of information. Vehicles are arriving or departing the yard. That's good information for the dispatchers to know, but it's not necessarily actionable. And on the opposite side of that, a red alert would be used to call out some kind of exception that's important to you. The alerts are all configurable by yourselves. They're managed on your own. They are there for you to set up based on your own business needs. Next slide. This is a drill down, a shot of a drill down of the tracking details for a particular vehicle for the day. And in the user interface, you'll see there's a line that shows the route of that the truck has driven for the day, and then all the AVL data, if you will, of what's happened with this truck from start to finish for the day. And this is a real-time view, so as the day goes on, the information fills in for a complete picture of what's happened for the day. And now we get into, next slide, analytics. So really our reporting and our analytics, we've developed to filter the data so that you can see it in context for what makes sense to you for your business. In this example, this is really a summary report. We call it the Mobility Metrics Report, and it's a summary view of what's happened for your vehicles within a certain a chosen time frame. So you can look at yesterday, you can look at last week, you can look at last month. And when you start managing your operations from this point of view, you start to understand what's normal in terms of mileage, in terms of drive time, in terms of stop time, and then the exceptions will become more and more clear to you as you monitor your fleet's operations. Next slide. This is an example of a report where we're monitoring PTO activity, again, the power takeoff. In this case, this is a screenshot of a utility, and the utility company monitors their booms as well as inverters, as I said, and they even monitor their cradle. When the cradle gets docked, the boom gets docked in the cradle, they'll monitor that time as well. And this is a report that shows that information so that the managers and supervisors have a better understanding of what's happened in the field, can manage their outage management times. They've got a very clear view of what took place to resolve any kind of outages in terms of the time frames. Next slide. Monitoring excessive engine idle time. We have the ability to make a distinction between the vehicle engine is on and it is moving or it is not moving. And in these days of gas at $4 plus a gallon, this has been a huge focus for our customers, and we're able to give them the information by truck, by day, and then again roll that data up into your different reporting groups and into your different locations to get an understanding of where you have some opportunities to reduce costs and potentially retrain your folks on the use of the vehicles and engine idle. So this is an example of a report for one particular vehicle that will show, you can see the engine on time and how long the engine was on, and then we basically will show you within our data when the vehicle starts moving, so you can make the distinction, idle time. And last, really about our application is we give you the opportunity to manage it yourselves. We're software as a service, and so when you log in, you're logging in, you can see from the internet your current locations of your vehicles, and in the same way you can do all the setup and administration for your fleets on your own. You're not reliant on us to do that for you. And I think that's it, unless there's some questions specifically for me.
Barbara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I was wondering, what you were showing us had specific addresses. Where do those addresses come from?
That's a good question. We use a compilation of different services, but primarily we're using Descartes maps. We also use Cavera, and what we do is the device itself has a GPS component in it, and when the vehicle location is identified by a latitude and longitude reading, and we bring that data into our system, and then we essentially map it or compare it to a mapping service. And that mapping service is Descartes, and it will assign the street address for that location.
Have you had pretty good luck with highly rural areas working with the Descartes?
Yes, we have, and we actually have a third system that we use to kind of double, triple check the data, and that's Melissa Data Services. And so we'll go back and do a second try or a third try to see to try to get that location data.
Okay. Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay, it's question and answer time. So if you have any questions, please unmute your phone and ask away. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, on your map that you're using as a follow-up to the last question, do you not integrate with the company's system map instead of using the Descartes map?
Yes, we can certainly do that, and probably somebody else can answer that even better than I.
This is Keith Warren with Wireless Matrix. On interfacing to existing map systems you have,